Morning. Here is a question that we ponder, and that's when Momo doesn't remember something, how much do we uh, wait and give her time to remember and sort of help her exercise her brain? And when does that sort of cross a line and become ineffective and frustrating for her? So, some things that come up would be where are my grandchildren? And she knows that they're in college and she knows where they go to college, but sometimes those details are elusive to her, and she'll just guess randomly without thinking. And so, really trying to encourage her and reminding her, like, you know the answers to these questions, and what you need to do is just stop and think, which she sort of gets frustrated about. But then when she comes up with it and remembers, there's a sense of gratification and satisfaction. And I was thinking about this, right, with a young one, that knowledge base continues to grow, and the things they know the answers to, the things they can read, the math they can do, expands each day. And with someone with dementia, the opposite is true, right? More details will slip away, more of those answers will become elusive. And so, like this morning, we were listening to some Neil Diamond because she just seemed to like she could use a little boost, and she loves Neil Diamond, knows the words to every single song, and just loves to belt it out as we're getting ready for breakfast. And she said, "Who sings this?" And I was like, "Oh, come on, Momo, this is your guy. You know who sings this." And the birds are singing a lot today. Hopefully that's not too distracting. Um, and she said, "I don't know." And I was like, "You do know. Just, give it a couple more songs." And I could tell that she was getting kind of agitated. And then, I was getting some breakfast ready, and she belts out, Neil Diamond! Like, she got the trivia answer, and she was so excited. So, there will come a time when she doesn't remember where the grandchildren are going to school. There will come a time when she doesn't remember Neil Diamond's name. The songs will still resonate with her. Those are going to be deep in her spirit and in her soul, and we'll always use Neil Diamond as sort of our go-to pick-me-upper and grounder. Thank you, Neil, for so many of the great classics that you've written. But yeah, I don't know the answer to this question, and I guess there isn't an answer. There's just sort of feeling out each moment, and how many hints to give, how much guiding to do to get her to the answer, and trying to feel whether or not those hints feel empowering or feel belittling. And that's going to change each day and with each question. Um, so that's just something that we're sort of aware of and grappling with a little bit, is how do we find the balance of answering her questions, giving her the answer, and making her think a little bit. And that's part of the reason that we don't give her information about what we're doing during the day ahead of time, because she'll forget, but she'll know that there's something. And so we can spend the whole day like, wait, now what are we doing again this evening? What's our plan? And so it's our answer, and I don't know whether it's right or not, has been to just tell her very little about our plans, even if they're great things to look forward to, because she will forget, but know that there's something, and then just spin on it all day. What's the thing? What time? What should I wear? And so that one's hard because I want to share the things to look forward to, but um, the grasping a hold of it. So maybe notes are really helpful, and maybe notes are going to be great. You know, when we first moved Momo in, we thought about that movie 50 First Dates, because when we first moved her in, she was quite confused, you know, about waking up in the bedroom that, you know, in our house. And so if you haven't seen the movie 50 First Dates with Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler, she has memory loss, and so they fall in love, and he creates a video for her to watch every single morning, introducing her to her reality and where she lives and who she's with, and so we thought, gosh, would something like that be helpful? And we even tried for a while a note that talked through like like her history of moving. Like, you lived in Portland and you were there, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then you moved here into Down Manor, and then that didn't work, and we had that long note out for her to refer to, and it was semi helpful for about a week, and then it just became something that she would just read over and over and agitate, and so many questions and uncertainties, and it was not helpful. So we threw that away. So we try things, we adjust, we try things, we adjust, we evolve, and reminding ourselves that we are moving in reverse from when we had children and they became more and more independent and capable. And so trying to be kind and loving and supportive and encourage her brain to work through things as much as we can, and yeah, just trying to lead with heart and enjoy the moment. And I'd love to hear some of the comments that you might have about what works for you, because we're all just trying to figure this out. And thanks for listening, and I hope you have a great day.